Now, the one mistake made by Trump's defense team, I said from the beginning, file a motion to disqualify this judge out of the gate. When you have a biased judge, you cannot sit there on your hands. And this happens all the time. And so and usually this is the response I always get from other lawyers. Oh, don't do that. The judge will be mad. I'm like, think about that for a second. If you think telling the judge you think the judge is impartial, and that is partial, not impartial, and that consequently it will prejudice your client's rights, and you think the judge will be adverse to you because of bringing that motion, that's exactly when you have to bring the motion, because that's how partial and prejudicial the judge is. There's no better proof of it than judges that would punish you for bringing that motion. It's like saying don't assert your First Amendment rights because they'll retaliate against you if they do. That's exactly the kind of person you have to assert your First Amendment rights with. And here, Trump's lawyers made a mistake by not – I mean, Trump himself said he wanted it, publicly said he wanted a motion to disqualify brought. And his lawyers are like, oh, I don't want to upset the judge. You know, maybe they won't be mean to me. No, this is a corrupt rogue judge. Put it on the record. Go at it. Deal with it up front. You can't let her continue to screw, because then what the judge will say is, oh, you're just mad at my rulings. And they like to weasel out that way. Don't wait for the judge to prove their prejudice. When you know they're prejudiced, put it on the record from the get-go. And if they're going to punish you, it further documents your case, further substantiates your case, both for appeal and for the court of public opinion. You bring the motion to disqualify early because that's an appealable denial. And people are confused out there with appeals as of right versus appeals as interlocutory or writs. Dershowitz has explained that you can bring a lot of these appeals as interlocutory and writs. Yes, they don't have to take it. Everybody knows that. Supreme Court doesn't have to take anything ever. That should not be your guiding principle. Does it give you the opportunity to knock on their door? And when you have a judge that is way past any degree of logic or reason or ethics or morals, and is out to rig the trial against your client so that she can rig the election. She's involved in a criminal conspiracy to deprive the American people of her rights. According to the theory of Jack Smith, it's this judge that belongs in federal prison, not the people she wants to lock up or has locked up. And you cannot sit there and play nice with those kind of rogue judges. A corrupt king does not respect deference. When you bow before them, they cut your head off. They only respect it if you expose them for who they are, is the only chance you have. Might the judge still screw you? Absolutely. But that meant they were always going to screw you. So play out what the probabilities are. Does it give you any chance of relief or any chance of improvement to be able to bring the motion? They needed to bring this yesterday. They need to start bringing it now. And, you know, Trump's lawyers have been so far, frankly, mediocre. And they need to. This is the most constitutionally consequential case in the history of our country. It's not here for mediocrity. They need to step it up, quit being wusses, quit hiding behind things, quit worrying about their license, quit worrying about what the government can do to you, because you keep doing that, you don't live. You know, I mean, that's this is where Nelson Mandela, Medgar Evers, you know, the great quote, I gave it on Donald Trump Jr.'s interview, that I learned as a kid. Medgar Evers' famous statement when they asked him why he wasn't afraid to die, and this was a man who ultimately was assassinated on his front lawn. He said, most men die 1,000 deaths every day. I'm only going to die once. If you're going to be a lawyer and take this case, you need to have that mentality and that mindset, or they will steamroll you.
Playing devil's advocate, or maybe just, you know, the counter argument now. They can't undo what has not been done. They can't do what has not been done. But now they have more fodder to the argument for a biased judge, the statements made in the past, and this patently
Unfortunately, here's what the judges do. They say, oh, you're just complaining about my rulings.
Yeah.
And so it always undermines your ability to bring a disqualification motion. Yes, absolutely, go ahead and bring it now. No doubt about that. But the problem is when you wait for the judge to make a ruling, even the higher courts look askew at you if you didn't bring it before they made the bad ruling. Because otherwise they think this is just a disguised appeal of the ruling you don't like. And that's why you had to bring this right out of the gate. You had to put them on blast. Know what they're doing. You know what they're doing. You got to say it, take the heat, roll with it, and act accordingly. And put them to the test. If you play ball, if you play nice, they will steamroll you, and that's what this judge is doing to Trump's team.